Hello, I'm the art teacher. I am doing a video on how I teach my fourth graders how to make the dragon airplane. I've got my idea from this wonderful book, Flying Bird Origami by Yoshihide Momotani. I hope I'm saying that name right. Fantastic book, love having it, lots of fun, well written. I got my idea from this book on how to do it. So I'm going to show you how to make an airplane dragon. I get a piece of square paper. You can see the double-sided color. It doesn't have to be that way. I do this so you can see the front and back side of the model easier. I take my square paper, turn it so it's a diamond. I'm taking the bottom of the diamond and I match it to the top. One hand holds the top and the pointer finger comes straight down off to the side and off to the other side. I open it up. I have a horizontal line that's laying down. This is a valley fold. The fold goes down. Now I'm going to take this raw edge of paper here, bottom, and line it up to the center line. Just like this. And I kind of roll it with my fingers so I can get a nice point at the left side. There we go. And you try to get it as close as you can. I like leaving just a hair space. That's just me. I'm going to turn it around once. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I call this an airplane fold because this is a fold that most boys and girls will do while making a paper airplane. But when you do an airplane fold like this, you actually make what is called a kite base because it looks, well, like a kite. So here's my kite base. Now I'm going to do a little math. I'm going to take my left end, which is a thinner point. I'm going to bend the whole model in half so the left point will go to the right point. And once I match it up, I am not going to fold it. I'm just going to pinch it here by taking my pointer finger and coming straight down, making a little pinch mark there and letting go. You can see the pinch mark right here. Now that's halfway. I want it a quarter way now, so I'm taking this thinner point and matching it to the halfway mark. I'm holding it tight there, and again I'm pinching it. I just want to pinch. These are called landmarks. I have one here and here. So this is a quarter, this is a halfway mark. Now I'm going to put my thumbnail, my fingernail or my thumbnail right at the pinch mark here, and my other hand, I'm going to take this layer of paper and roll it over. My finger is going to stop it right here, but I'm going to try and go as far as the paper will allow me at the top. Once I go as far as I can, then I can crease it. This is what I mean as far as I can. I can't fold this anymore without this paper tearing or bending over. And this stops at that pinch mark. Now I can crease it. I do the same thing with the other side. Just like this. I kind of tore my paper right there a little bit, but it should be okay. Ah! There we go. There. So it looks like that. Now I'm going to turn this whole paper around like this so the thinner point is pointing to me. And I have a ruler to show you something here and a pencil. Here is my pinch mark here and here. I drew it there so you could see it better. And when I put the ruler here and I match it up, I can draw a little line just to show you where everything goes. That's where I'm going to fold it. Now it doesn't have to be exactly right there. That's just a guide. So you can be a little bit beyond that if you want. Make sure that this point lines up with the center line. Once it does, I crease it just like that. Now there's a pinch mark right here. I'm going to draw a little line right there. Now you don't have to draw the lines. I'm drawing the lines so that you can see it and what I'm looking at. So there's that mark there. I need to fold this mark to this edge, but I'm not going to be able to see it if I do it this way. So I flip the whole paper over as I'm bending this at the same time. And now I can see it and I can match it up. Once I match it up, great, I can turn it back. There. Now I'm going to turn this model back around this way. Your model should look like this. Now I'm going to make this triangle shape here narrower by taking this folded edge and matching it to the center line. So I'm just going to pinch it up. Now when I do that, I'm going to actually lift this part of the wing up. So as I do this, trying to match it, make it go to a point as much as you can. Once that's done, you can see how this is sticking straight up. Well, I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can push my finger this way. And when I do that, gently, I can see that there's a pocket forming right there. So I just use my finger and carefully shape it and then squash it down. It's kind of like a squash fold. And you try to make everything look nice and neat and not wrinkly as much as possible. Here, let me try this again. I'm going to make this side narrower. So I'm going to take the folded edge and line it up to the center line. Go to a point. Then I come back this way. And carefully, I want to make that pocket show up again. So I put my finger in there. And as this folds over, it forms a pocket, and I'm just going to squash it down. I'm going to try and make both sides look the same. There we go. So far, so good. There. Now, I'm going to take this whole model, turn it over. It should look like this. I'm going to fold it in half now, taking the bottom, folding it to the top, using this line, this horizontal line as my guide. Everything should match up, just like this. And if it doesn't quite match up, it's okay. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Okay, now that we have here, the next fold is probably the hardest fold for beginners, and that is the reverse fold. The reverse fold, the best way I can explain it to you now is if you're holding my model like this, holding your model like this, that right here that I'm pointing to is a valley fold. And if I turn it this way, it's called a mountain fold. So if I'm holding it this way, I push my finger in there, and as I open this up, I can then push this up. And you can see the valley fold is now going to change to a mountain fold, because once I get here, pull it up, see, I open it up, just tap it right here, and then I can push it in and fold the edges back. Now it's a mountain fold, and that's going to be the neck of the dragon. Now if you could get this, then the rest of it should be easy. It's the same thing. I put my fingers up higher, I put my thumbnail in here, and then push down on it. It makes it flat, and as it comes down flat, I can close it. If I was to leave it like this, it would look more like a bird's beak or a bird's head. But to make it look more like a dragon's head, I just simply open this up, take the point, fold it backwards past the head, and then just fold it again. Fold it back. And that kind of gives me the dragon's head. Now, you can actually play around with this and make your head bigger, smaller. You can actually flip this around and make a mouth with a tooth. Play around with this. Experiment. Have fun with it. So now, that's my dragon head and neck. Here's the body. Now for the wings. What I do is this. I'm going to draw them, but I normally don't draw them when I cut them because I made them so many times. But when you're starting off, you may want to use this as a guide. Make something that looks like bat wings. And you want to have wings of the plane here. Then the body of the plane, I think, is a fuselage, if I'm saying it right. Then, 2 inches maybe. And then you want to come back up, swoop way out here, and do some more bat curves of the wing. And I like doing this part. Coming way out here to this tail, then coming back up. Now let's see what it looks like when I cut it. Okay, I like, you can start either way. I'm going to cut the tail first. And you don't have to stay exactly with what you drew. And the more you do it, the more you realize that you don't have to draw it at all. You kind of give a feel for it. Whoops. I think that means my clothes are dried and I need to take them out of the dryer. Yes, I am in my garage. That's what us art teachers do. Okay. Work in our garage. All sorts of stuff. And I named myself the art teacher because that's what all the kids call me. They don't remember my name. They just say, "Oh, you're the art teacher." All right, and I'm almost done. You can tell I'm not quite getting exactly the way I drew it. It's okay. Now, get rid of this. Now you have the wings and the tail wings. I take this wing. I want to make sure I fold it evenly with the body. The direction that you fold this in has a great deal to do with how well your dragon will fly. So if your dragon doesn't fly very well, you may need to change that fold. And you do definitely need to have tail wings. Let me turn it over this way. Fold this down. Don't be afraid to experiment, to play around. I wouldn't use really good origami paper at first. I would just use regular white paper. Copy paper I'd cut into squares until you get the hang of it. There we go. Cool looking dragon. And it actually flies pretty good. And like I said, you can experiment with different shapes here and the tail wing. Sometimes I don't put this at all. Sometimes I do. That pointy part, that's just for looks. And sometimes I make the head, if you can see me doing this, I can actually pull the head forward a little bit and then pinch it and pull this head out a little bit more and pinch it, and it makes it look like he's flying forward a lot more and not so relaxed. So, all right, there you have it. I hope you had success with this dragon airplane, and we'll see you with the next video.